Okay, so if we move on to the last question, question 8, it says a class of students are developing a program to send data between computers. Many computers are connected together to form a wired network, with serial ports used to connect one computer to another. Okay, each computer is assigned a unique 3-digit ID. It also has 3 ports, each identified by an integer value, and is connected to between 1 and 3 other computers. Right, messages are sent between computers kind of in, well, this format. So we have STX, which is a single character marking the start of a message, and this has ASCII value 2. Right, then we've got the destination ID, which is a 3 numeric characters identifying the destination computer. Right, then we have the source ID, which is 3 numeric characters identifying the source computer, okay, so the sender. Then we've got data, which is a variable length string containing the data being sent, and this will be of minimum, well, at least 1 character. Then we have ETX, which is a single character marking the end of the message, and yeah, this has ASCII value 3. Right, for example, I guess hello Jack from 202 to 454. Right, we're going to have the STX, right, so ASCII character 2. Then we're going to have, yeah, this is the destination, right, then the sender, of course, then the message, yeah, then the ETX, right, ASCII character 3. It also says each computer will run a copy of the same program, and each program will contain a global variable myID of type string, which contains the unique ID of the computer in which the program is running. Right, the first 2 program modules are, okay, here. It says get data. This returns the data field from a message that is being received. If no message is available, the module waits until one has been received. So this is already being written, okay, so we don't have to sort of worry about how this works. Right, but then, well, the one we want to write, this ReceiveFile, is going to take a file name as a parameter of type string. We'll then create a text file with this name, and it says we don't need to check. So I guess we don't have to check, if the parameter is empty. We don't have to check if the file already exists, because, well, in Pseudocode there's no way to check if the file exists. Right, well, then we just write the data field returned by getData to the file. Well, we repeat until the data field is 4 asterisks, and yeah, these asterisks will not be written to the file. And then we output a final message given the total number of characters written to the file. So yeah, for example, write this message here. Okay, so first then let's just declare the procedure. So this will be procedure and ReceiveFile. And then what I'm going to do, well, I'm just going to say file name. Right, okay, this will be of type string. And yeah, let's just go end procedure. Okay, so that's what it tells us here. Right, now, I guess what we can do first, we just want to declare some variables, and one of them, well, it's going to need to be the character count. Okay, because yeah, we'll need to store how many characters we've received. So let's say maybe char counts, right? This can be integer. And then I think the other one we're probably going to want like the sort of line or the data. So yeah, probably let's call that data. And this will just be, well, the data that that this get data returns. Right, and if we look, okay, this is going to return a string. Okay, so this should be a string parameter. Now, I mean, let's just set this char count to 0, and we'll also go ahead and let's just open the file. So let's go open file, right, that's file name, and then, well, it's going to be for write. So yeah, make sure the file mode is going to be write. And then, I mean, here we could do this either using a while loop, right, or using a repeat until. And I think, I mean, if we're using a while loop, well, basically, we would have to go data like this. We can then go get data. And then, well, okay, so let's say if we're using a repeat until. If we're using a repeat until, then we would need an if statement inside the repeat until, checking that if the data is not equal to this. Because, obviously, well, if it is equal to this, we don't want to write it to the file. So yeah, that's why we need an if statement, to check it's not equal, right, then we would write it. However, if we use a while loop, we actually shouldn't need that if statement. Because what we can say, well, we can just go while data, and I guess, yeah, while data is not equal to the 4 asterisks. And I mean, this do, right, this is also optional. Right, the old syllabus, they had do, I think the new syllabus, they don't have it. So, I mean, really, it's up to you if you include it. Right, and then I guess what we want to do, we just want to say, in fact, yeah, we've done that already. Right, I guess then what we want to do, we just want to write this to the file. So let's go write file, right, that'll be file name. And then, well, we're just going to write this data into this file. And I think then what we can do, right, we also want to increment the character count. So if we go character count, right, that's going to be character count plus the length of the data. And then we're going to have to make sure that we, well, basically do this again, right, so we get the next lot of data. And to be honest, right, there's multiple ways of doing this, and yeah, I'll try and show you using the repeat until right afterwards. Okay, so then we just want to output this sentence here. All right, so if we just go output, then let's go character count, and yeah, we're just going to go characters were written to. All right, were written to, and I think then we just want the file name. All right, so I think that should be fine. And then I mean, if I just minimize this, well, again, if you want this starter code, right, where we've got this get data, so you can actually test it, just go here to the exam questions, right, choose the correct paper, and yeah, of course, you know, just find this starter code, right. And I mean, as we see, I mean, technically this is not operating exactly like it says in the question paper, but I mean, it's going to sort of simulate the, you know, same behavior, basically just sort of like faking the, you know, behavior kind of. And if we look, well, basically it's going to give, I guess, what, like a 1 in 20 chance it's going to just return the 4 asterisks. And then, yeah, like the other 95% of the time, it's just going to give us some random string. So, yeah, it's just sort of simulating, you know, that behavior. So, I mean, if we try and run this, I mean, let's just see if this works. So let's go call. And of course, you know, in the exam, you wouldn't have to call it. But let's just go receive file and we'll just call it text.txt, or yeah, maybe test.txt. And you know, in a minute we'll actually want to keep doing this. Or in fact, no, okay, yeah, this should work. So let's try. Okay, and yeah, silly mistake. Let's also go close file. And I mean, let's try again. Okay, so I guess 0 characters, probably the first time it must have been this. All right, let's try again. And yeah, so 77 characters, and you see here, you know, it's just a random message each time. But I mean, this seems to be working. And then yeah, 70. Yeah, okay, all right, so this seems to be working. Now, if we look at part C, it says 2 new modules are defined, which will allow 2 users to exchange messages. Right, there's transmit, which is already written, and this takes 2 parameters: a string representing a message and an integer representing a port number. Then it transmits the message using the given port. Right, then there's chat, which, well, we need to write. This takes 2 parameters, one being a string representing a destination ID, the second an integer representing a port number. It's going to extract data from a received message using get data. Right, then it just outputs that. So it says, you know, received and then the message contents. We also form a message using data input by the user and send it using transmit. And we repeat all of this until either the output string or the string sent is by. So, I mean, what this means is, I guess, well, the output string, that's kind of our message. And I guess, yeah, this one, I mean, this is, you know, their message, which, you know, we can get using this get data, right? So, yeah, we just keep kind of, you know, asking and outputting messages until one of them says bye. And then, right, reminder, so each program contains a global variable myID of type string, which contains the unique ID of each, yeah, well, basically of our device. Right, then it says, yeah, messages, okay, so messages are like this. So we have this STX, right, ASCII2, then the destination ID, which, well, we can get here from this parameter. Right, the source ID, well, that's going to be my ID. Right, the data, that is going to be, yeah, so the data the user inputs, so we'll ask them for input. And then, well, this one here, this is just going to be ASCII character 3. Right, so let's have a go at this. And yeah, this is going to be a procedure because, well, it doesn't return anything. And it says, right, okay, I mean, let's say, like, yeah, well, I mean, let's call it destination ID, right, same as what they told us. Right, that's going to be a string. And then, I mean, let's just say port, right, I mean, I think this is the, yeah, this is the port we're sending it on. Right, okay, let's go end procedure. Right, so first then we want to, yeah, So let's declare some variables. Let's say maybe like their message. Let's also say our message. And right, these can both be strings. Now, the thing is, what we will want, right, I think maybe we might need something which just has, the actual data we're sending. Because we're also going to want to concatenate that with, the ASCII character 2, right, the destination ID, the source ID. So maybe let's just say, I don't know, like base message or something. Yeah, maybe that's not the best name, right? So I think what we can do here, right, let's just go repeat. And then the first thing we want to do, well, we want to get the data using this get data. So that's going to be their message, and right, that's going to be, well, just use get data, right, call get data. Right, and well, then it says we just output this. So let's just go output, and maybe we'll just say received, and let's just go their message. Right, the next one, we want to form a message using the data input. So here then, let's ask, let's say, maybe enter, enter a message to send. Right, then we're just going to input this, and we will input this into, let's say base message. Right, and then what we're going to do, and I guess we don't necessarily need two variables, but yeah, maybe it makes it easier. So this is the message we're actually sending, and then here, well, this is going to be character 2. Right, then we're, because this is the STX, right, then we're going to concatenate, and I think then we want the destination ID, right, then we want the source ID, right, that's going to be my ID, then we want the base message, right, and then we just want, ASCII character 3. Okay, and then what do we want to do? So I guess then we just send it using transmit, and well, transmit is going to be procedure, so we just call this. Right, the message, well, this is going to be our message. And then the port, right, that is going to be, well, this port, right, the parameter here. And then it just says, well, repeat this until either of them are by. So that's going to be, well, until their message equals by. And yeah, since it's a string, it has to be in quotes. Right, or, and then this will be, I guess, base message equals by. Yeah, so I think that should be okay. And let's just see if this works. So if we go call, right, then we'll just say chat. Let's say destination. What's ours? Right, okay, so ours is 111. So let's make theirs 222, something simple. And then the port number. Well, we can say anything like 333. Okay, so yeah, let's see if this works. Right, so it says received, well, this random string. Let's just say hello. And yeah, okay, so it says hello. It says sent on port, right, 333. So this here is going to be the destination, right, this is going to be, well, 111, that's us. Then it says hello, and then, well, this question mark, right, this is a non-printable character. So basically, yeah, that's going to be this character 3 here. Right, then it says received, so let's just say something else. Yeah, let's say bye, if I can spell that correctly. And yeah, okay, so we say bye and then it stops. And we can also try it here. Let's say, yeah, I don't know, maybe make this less than like 0.5. So this will give it now a 45% chance of saying bye. Because yeah, this has, well, if it's less than 0.05, it will say this. I guess if it's greater than 0.05 but less than or equal to 0.5, right, then it's going to say bye. Okay, so well, here it just says received by. Let's just say hello, but this should actually stop at this point. And yeah, okay, so here we see it stops. Right, again, guys, so I think for this video that's the end, and as always, any questions, ask in the comments, ask on Discord, and hope to see you again in the next video.